I think. Let me check. Okay, can start. I think should be okay. Let me check on the live.
Now you're gonna do some introduction.
We are live.
So this one we actually didn't schedule one, right? This
No.
suddenly,
Yeah.
this afternoon we planned this, right?
Yeah. So since it's a Sunday and since we have a topic in hand, just do it.
Because of one image in the Facebook.
Okay, so yeah, let's start.
Trigger. It's the trigger. It's the trigger.
Yeah.
It's like
So
Yes,
no one
let's
want to
start.
join us.
I think we just sembang among ourselves better.
Yeah. Anyone want to join in later? Just let them join in. No problem.
yeah. we
Yeah.
just
The,
talk
the
about-
more the merrier.
Yeah.
So, Derek, you want to start?
Let me share with friends here.
Sure.
I forgot. We share with this gang. Okay. Well, I mean, welcome whoever's out there. If you're out there, even if you're from another planet and you're watching this, humanoids discussing about astrophotography and Astrophotoshoppy, how Michael puts it. So I think that we have here some very, very distinguished amateur astronomers from Malaysia that are very knowledgeable, have many, many years combined experience of astrophotography. So we have Mr. C.K. Lim right here. We also have Mr. William Chin, who's been doing astrophotography for many, many years, just like C.K. Lim, and has a newspaper column. Okay, and also Mr. Michael Theo, who is amateur astronomer and imager at the Heng Yi High School
Hi.
Observatory. And then there's of course myself, who is an amateur astronomer and astrophotographer. So yeah, I think that today's topic is very interesting. We want to explore this question about whether a photo is considered astrophotography or not. So I think that it's a very controversial topic. It caused a lot of excitement online, and I think without further ado, let's listen to some of the opinions of our guests here. Okay, I think shall we start with Michael? I think you have a very interesting definition of what astrophotography and composite and everything. So why don't you start off?
Actually, I'm not sure whether they can hear me because I cannot hear myself. Okay, but you guys can hear me, right?
You cannot
Yes,
hear
we can
yourself.
hear you.
Let me
Yes.
test.
I can hear.
Let me test the.
I can hear.
Let me hear the playback. Okay, can hear. Okay, so actually this started about
good,
like
good.
few weeks ago or like 1 or 2 months ago, where we have one argument over someone else's photo. So it was that time that out of curiosity, I go and find out what is the definition of the so-called composite, because that guy, I don't want to say fella, that guy, he insisted that picture is not a composite. He said he just used a blending method to produce the final image. But so out of curiosity, I go and find. So this is the link. Let me share my screen. Oh, I forgot I cannot share my screen from here because I'm broadcasting. So someone have to open the website just now. Because I'm streaming the Google Meet window. It cannot change to another window.
Anyone sharing?
Oh, right.
Let me see how to do that.
Hey, wait, let me check.
I-
Maybe
You
I
want me to
can.
help you? Why don't you? Yeah.
I think
Someone else.
Yeah, so I came across this
can see the
website.
right
So I came across this website. Okay, so it has a quite a general write up about what is a composite image. Basically, technically speaking, most of our photos nowadays are actually composite in some way or another. So the bottom line is that once you combine two separate photo of two separate capture, is a composite. Whether you are pointing at the same place, like you are looking at the same part of the sky, then you take one, and then you took another, you stack it or whatever, you blend it, you call it, that is a composite by the technical definition. But so that's why in the I think in the description of our live here, I have mentioned that what kind of composite is okay for you and what is not okay, because we know definitely there will be a lot of composite. Like even we do our planetary imaging, we take the moon, we take the Saturn, Jupiter, we want to take the sun. We are always going to combine different exposure to create the final image. Like even you add a color, false color, that is a composite. So to what extent that this composite is okay for you? So that is our discussion for tonight. So that is the bottom line of the definition of composites. So there is, it's up to you to define it the way you like it. I think you have to scroll down and there is the definition is at the bottom. Down.
Stop me
Yeah.
if reach there.
Yeah, I think somewhere here, yeah. Yeah. Top,
Mhm.
the above, up. Up.
Wow.
Yeah, somewhere here. Yeah, here. See, a composite combine two or more photographs to create one. So it's up to you how you render it. So like I said, if you are like the old time when you're using film, or even like in the now the digital age, some people they still use the black cut method, right? So you block part of the sky, like do as well. So as long as within a single exposure, that is not a composite. That is a multi exposure, or no, that is not considered multi exposure. There is some kind of technique to produce a HDR or different brightness within the same exposure. But once your shutter is closed and open for another one, that is a composite. So basically composite is something we have to live with nowadays. There's no argument about that. It's not cheating, it's not fake, but just to what extent you create that composite. Yeah, most of the time for astrophotography, what we generally can accept is that the two images that you combine must be, that means is at the same direction, is in the same frame. So for example, if your Milky Way is on the east, you are pointing east, but the moon is on the west, and you move the moon here inside, there's no, because the moon doesn't belong there. It's not there at the moment you capture it. But if you take three different exposure while pointing at the Milky Way and you combine it, the camera didn't move. So that one, I think for more of us, is acceptable for this kind of composite. So what do you guys think?
What my opinion is that composite you may do for your normal photography, but not for astrophotography. I don't. Can you give me an example of composite that you think is okay in astrophotography? So far, I
Mosaic.
cannot think of any. Even though you say if you want to take the Penang Bridge, then after that there's no moon there, then you see the moon is at the back of you. You take the moon, then you paste on top of the Penang Bridge, then you say there's a composite. But then, although you may find a particular day or date or whatever, say that the moon position is exactly at this location, I would still say that it is a fake photograph.
Yeah, that's why the object must be there. For example, if you have a firework, if you have
Correct.
a firework in front of the Penang Bridge, if you expose correctly for the firework, the bridge will be like maybe different separate exposure. But you are still pointing at the same place, the camera didn't move, Okay,
Yes.
then you combine the two together. So at that particular moment, I would say the bridge is there and the firework is there. Just that their exposure is different. You have to make the other one brighter, another one dimmer, whatsoever. So that one is a composite that we can accept. But like you say,
Yeah.
if you move a moon from another day, I think that one is no.
But I think I still cannot accept that kind of photography. I mean, you can accept in a way lah. For example, you want to take a Penang Bridge. Okay, the moon is not there yet, but then you want to take the Penang Bridge because this is a blue hour. So you take the Penang Bridge. Then you wait until slightly later. Then when the moon rises up, then you just put the moon at the back. That one I would still say still okay, but in the way that I still cannot accept it because it's not what we actually, what actually happening is take at the two separate time already. Even like your firework is actually two separate time already.
Okay, well, how about like maybe let's say for example you have a lunar eclipse rise in between the twin tower. So definitely you cannot get a proper exposure with the moon properly exposed and the twin tower properly exposed.
That one is okay. That one you process to enhance the brightness come out. That is okay. If the position is correct, if the time is correct, the object is actually there, then it is okay. For example, if you take Jupiter and Saturn conjunction, Saturn is much more dimmer. Then you enhance the brightness a bit. That is okay as long as you say that you enhance it a little bit. To me, that is fine.
But
if
your enhancement is on a single shot or double shot. For example,
you can be a single shot, it can be a double shot, but at least you let people know that this is what it is. Then I think it's still okay, because our eye do not have that. Sometimes the dynamic range is not that good or whatever. You cannot see that well. But if the camera can capture it, then you just enhance it a little bit. That is still fine. But if you take something that is not there at that particular moment, you just cut and paste the moon there, or for example, a lot of people in the normal photography, they like to maybe take a Milky Way, then in front they put a silhouette of a tree, shadow of a tree. I think that one is not acceptable.
what if the tree is there?
Huh?
But the tree is there. What?
If the tree is there, it's okay. But a lot of time, actually, I see that the tree is not there. They just take a Milky Way photo, then they take a nice silhouette of a tree, then they paste on top of the Milky Way photo. That one, I think, is not acceptable. But if the tree is there, no problem. You can take maybe a double exposure. You change a little bit, that's still okay. But you have to be mentioned there, lah. But to me, most of the time, I think composite in astrophotography, I do not really agree with that now. Why you want to do it, put it there. A lot of landscape photographers, they want to do it. I've seen a lot of people, they even steal other people photograph, like the foreground. They have a very nice sunset photo, but they don't have a nice rock in front with the water, sea there. So when they steal the photograph and they put it there in front of their sunset photo, then they claim as theirs. Then I think they got caught. Somebody saw that they used their photograph. So there's a lot of people that do that. For me, it's not. It's not ethical. I think in astrophotography also, it is not. Once it's not real, then it should not be astrophotography anymore. To me, it should be real. If you want to, it's something like people is trying to. If you want to change this astrophotography into art, then you change the whole astronomy into like astrology like that. A lot of people believe in astrology, but astrology is not totally, something that we can believe in. It's just something that you take the position of the sun, the moon, whatever, then you predict the future of the people. So to me, that if this astrophotography you turn into art, then it's like you're taking astronomy into astrology already, into that kind of direction. So I think we should not move into that direction.
Because I think earlier before we start, actually we have talked about this. Is that for general photography, most people they regard it as a art form. Okay, like even when you study photography, it usually fall under the art faculties or whatsoever. It's never a science. But when we come to astrophotography, that is a bit tricky because we have a science element inside. So that's why
Correct.
that's why for these people who create all these kind of composites, maybe they still treat it as an art form, and they disregard the science part of it. So
I
that's,
agree.
yeah. So for astrophotography, it's a tricky. It's a part science and part art. So it's just a matter of which part you look at more.
I think it's if you say astrophotography, then you must be science already, because we are just collecting data. Although we
Yes.
did some enhancement, we did do some color or whatever. It may not be the real color as what we see with our eye or whatever, but it's still data. It's still the data is there. We do not tamper with the data. We just enhance the data to see it better. You know, because our eye, we have limited wavelength. We only can see from 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. We cannot see hydrogen alpha well. We cannot see sulfur 3 or whatever well. So in that case, then what we do that we, of course, we change the color that we put into a different kind of, you know, palette or whatever they call it, so to see better. That to me is okay. But in certain thing like I don't know if you still remember the one that about a month ago, somebody in KL or whatever put the Orion with the house there. You know, they said it's a real photo. You know, all these things. That it turned up that the Orion scale image also is not the correct. The orientation is not correct. Also, so to me, that one should not be acceptable. Should not be accepted. You see. So
Actually, we can accept. To me, I can accept this kind of image. But the first place, the author must declare that that is an artwork, more than just a pure astrophotos.
meaning,
If they just say that, if they post the image and then saying that this is a combination or composition or an artwork that combine the Orion Nebula and the landscape, then in certain sense that can be accepted, because that author already
yes.
declared the work is a composite.
Yes. I agree with that. If we say that they do a composite already, and it's better that if they do a composite, but the image scale is the same. For example, you take the Orion Nebula using the same focal length. Then because of course the house is in front is too bright or too dark, then you will do a different kind of exposure for that. Then you combine those photographs. That one is I'm okay with that, because yeah, I mean we can agree with that. But if you do Orion with how the lens use is different, you know, or the angle is different, then I would say not accept. Even if you mention it, of course it's still okay lah. But then in terms of astrophotography, I don't think that's astrophotography already. Okay.
Okay, so just now CK
So it seems like the general issue here is like hello.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean I just have a quick
Okay,
search.
yeah.
Yeah, never mind, you go on.
Go on first, yeah.
Me?
Oh, just wanted to add. I think that general term here is like, what is real, right? So if an image reflects reality, then okay, it might be acceptable as astrophotography. But if not, then it has to be art. Okay, and I totally agree with that. And here's like how I always put it to anyone who asks me is like, astrophotography is two words, right? Astronomy and photography. The key word here is and, meaning that both must be logically valid. It must be an astronomy thing and a photography thing. And astronomy is a science, so you have to adhere to the principle of science. And then photography is a technique as which you kind of capture the information. And then of course you can manipulate this information in a responsible way that still reflect the reality, but a way to kind of like convey the information in a more clearer manner, a more aesthetically pleasing manner, without destroying the actual reality. And then when we refer to reality, it's not what we see, right? Because as CK points out, our eyes are not sensitive to H alpha or something, you know. So our eyes cannot perceive that, but it is there, okay. And then the regions, the shape, the nebulosity is all accurate, positioning correct. Then that we can say, okay, that's reality. There's H alpha there. It's just our eyes are not sensitive enough. We use the photograph too, a special sensor to kind of capture it better. Okay, but if we start moving things around, like we had in an example today, then I think that's totally like artwork. It's not say it's like illegal or anything. Yes, you can do it, but it's art.
Yeah, so actually, when CK mentioned about the
So that's all I want
astrophotography
to add.
is a science, so I remember I called that I actually, like in the past when people are arguing about this science and art things, if I look at the Wikipedia entries for astrophotography, it mentioned that, okay, astrophotography is photography of astronomical object. Okay, that is simple. It's a photography of astronomical object, but below it has mentioned that astronomical photography was one of the earliest type of scientific photography. So this method is used for scientific purpose in the beginning. So it's science first, you use a photography method to do a scientific study. So it must be science first and art later. But like nowadays, people are, because amateur photography is so popular nowadays, instead of people doing it for science, they are doing it for art instead. So they ignore they didn't pay much attention to the science part of it. So astrophotography begin as a science, but now end up as an art. I would say that.
So I think then it's actually very worthwhile to kind of like, maybe say express in a more specific manner, like what do we really consider as real astrophotography? Because we'll ask the question then, okay, for example, I think one of the most classic cases is a meteor shower, right? So when you're photographing a meteor shower, if you keep your camera focused, positionally aimed at one angle, okay, so the camera is static. You don't move the camera, and then you take a picture of all the meteors that appeared in your camera. And then now you say that, okay, I'm gonna pick a nice frame. Okay, this frame with the Orion and the Milky Way and everything, and then I'm gonna just stick all the meteors up there. Okay, is that correct? Or you have to be more responsible. Where the meteor appears in the sky specifically, relative not to your camera but to the constellation, meaning that you have to track the sky and then have the accurate. Okay, you want that moment where there's there's some landscape and then there's some stars in the sky, and then you have to track the sky, and then take note of where all the meteors come out, and then after that put it into your now already called composite in a responsible manner. So I've seen both types of photos, okay? And they're both very spectacular. One, you clearly see the radiant. The other, it almost looks like it's raining. So, is there any acceptability between the two?
I didn't know that I thought that all the meteor shower photography is taken at all pointed back to the radiant, but I've not seen the one that is like going everywhere. I don't know. Yeah, but if it's taken, you take a separate shot of separate meteor, but then you paste it at where where it actually come from back relative to the star field, then I think it is still okay, because it is impossible for us to see such event, you see. So it is okay. I mean, for example, you take a wide shot of solar eclipse rising. Like for example, William Chin took the one in Bagan, right? So it's a composite that you take every 5 minutes the solar eclipse progress. Then you paste it over another photograph, you taken much earlier or much later. I think that is still okay because it is impossible for us to capture this kind of detail for us to see in real time, and it's actually still the data is still correct. The data is still correct, so I think it is still okay. Okay, for me it's still okay. So for the Meteor one, if we paste it relative to the star background, then I think it's okay. I've never seen the one that they just simply paste it. I think maybe there are many that which I don't realize, but as long as pointing back to the radiant, I think that's fine with me. So I don't know about you guys, but certain thing is okay as long as for me, if the astrophotography acceptable one means the data is there. The color may be off a little bit. The color is what individual people see. If the data is correct, then I think it's correct, because I think the original purpose why people do photography, astrophotography, is just to record the data. It's as a mean as recording data. You record the data so that you keep the record for future use. So to me, as long as it serves that purpose, that is okay. If you take something, for example, the photograph of today, we see somebody do the composite of the Orion Nebula, the Horsehead Nebula. If somebody is going to take that photograph somewhere in the future, then try to do some astrometry, then you'll find it so, confusing. They'll find so it's like
error 404.
The epoch run already, or because of the precession of the Earth or whatever, then you see all the stars different. Then I think it's not correct. But if you do it with the data is there, I think it's okay.
But
the color.
But then I remember the photo doesn't have a star inside. Right? I think he removed the star using the pics inside.
Yeah. If he remove the star, actually it is fine to remove star. I don't think it is as long as tell people you remove the star. In fact, star image removal to me is acceptable, especially if you take a photo of a comet. If you take a photo of a comet, you can either stack the comet or you want to stack the star. Either way, if you stack the comet, the star will be blurred. If you stack the star, then the comet will be blurred. Some people do separate. They stack the comet, then they stack the star, then they do a composite. That is fine with me. And some people even take the comet, after stack it, then they remove the star. To me, that is fine because we want to see the nebulousity, the tail of the comet, the nucleus of the comet clearer. The data is the correct data. I just remove the stars. So that one, I agree. No problem with that kind of manipulation, because the data is there, and actually you want to see the comet structure only. We don't want to see the star. So I think that kind of photography is okay. So no reason to think it's not.
Okay, how about one of the very popular way of people doing the HDR moon? So they actually do take the Earth shine part from another day. So for example, so let's say it's a first quarter moon. So they take the first quarter on this day and the last quarter on another day. They combine it together. So the two images from 2 different days. So what do you think? It's not a single day double exposure. It's a different day, totally different day.
Can I interrupt really quickly? Can somebody share that image? Just share the image so that anyone watching will get a copy. What you're saying.
I think it may.
Also, that image with the fantastical Orion Nebula versus Horsehead. I think that's totally.
Which one? You mean
you got
the one today?
To just have your mind blown.
Which one you want to show? You want to show the
one today? The one today, yeah.
No, the moon one. Do you want to show the moon, right? The moon, the Earth shine.
Yeah. Maybe let's.
Huh? You want to show the moon first or show the nebula?
We can show one first and then the other. Either way, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe look at the moon first, and then we go back to that crazy horse.
I think you share the horse head first, because I think I need some time to find the moon one.
I have the moon already.
Okay.
Just now, So I can share the moon first, and
Yeah.
someone please
All right,
ready
go
the
first.
the nebula. Let, let me see where is the image. How can I share the thing?
Actually, the moon one to me is kind of acceptable, but again kind of fake also because I've tried to do that before, and I found out that the moon you got the what liberation is it? The
Liberation,
moon,
yeah.
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 So if I take the earth shine and then I try to paste it with the full moon from some other day or whatever then I find out I have this kind of problem. So it's very good Photoshop. You need to know how to blend it nicely.
Because I think
So-
for this kind of blending, most people they use a snapseed because snapseed is there's a function for this double exposure composite. Which
yeah,
is done very nicely.
Correct, but the thing that the moon first, the moon size is different, the orientation is different, and I told you the liberation actually different. If you have taken this kind of photo before, let's say you take a 2 or 3 day old moon, you can see that the crater at the edge at the limb when you take during the full moon the crater may be missing already. You know what I mean? Or the crater position will move already. So if you take that one, then you post it to the full moon photo, you can actually see that the crater does not align properly one. It does not actually align properly one.
But I think
So-
most people they won't zoom in to look at that.
It don't zoom in now, but actually the apparent is quite a lot. Actually, I my Photoshop skill is not that good. Even if I think I do want to use this snapseed or what, which I heard before also, but I don't think it's very hard to say lah. For me, it's actually quite okay lah. For artistic thing, it's still okay lah. But it's a very gray area here.
Well, it's
It looks
sometimes
great.
if you need to consider, I think the people who make this one, it actually we can treat this as an HDR lunar photography, right?
But if the same
Some
day
kind of-
for HDR, I will say must be taken on the same day, double exposure, triple exposure, whatever. But it's on the same moment. But if the two part of the moon is from 2 different days, that one personally I cannot accept.
Oh, okay. But I just cannot accept if the people put the star background, but the star background is not exactly when the moon phase is like that, and when the moon has been at that position. Yeah, but most of the people they'll just put some of the star background on there, and never can tell
Michael, can you
that
repeat,
true
can you repeat
position.
what?
I think
Huh?
the other day we have one example, one very special example of this background star things. So some people, someone posted a photo like this with a star background, and then as usual someone go and say something not nice about it lah. So it turns out that those stars are not star but noise. So he over enhanced it.
Oh,
So that is a one odd cases. So he's not cheating, he's not lying. That is not a fake photo, but just that he over enhanced it. The noise looks like stars. Yeah.
okay. So
So is this image displayed right here taken on 2 separate days and combined as HDR?
Most likely.
yeah, usually people
Yeah, most likely yes. Like for example, if it's a 4-day moon, then the other one is maybe 23rd day moon. Yeah.
that means that no, they actually already have a full
Okay,
moon.
because
Oh, okay,
look,
full moon.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, they use the full moon image, and then take an image which is not a full moon.
it looks.
But I think the
almost
top
like-
one is not a full moon because you can see the crater shadow.
Yeah. They combine with the full moon image, and with that full moon image beam a little bit with a gradient filter. Usually we can do it in Photoshop. Yeah, so they can create something like this. Yeah, actually someone has a tutorial. You can find many tutorials in the internet to show you how to do this. Yeah, for those people who like this kind of image. But we know that it is very hard for example, for this moon phase to have the earth shine that strong that can illuminate the dark side of the moon. Yeah. very difficult, I can say. The strain of the moon will be very strong.
Does anyone feel like sorry. Do you all think that bottom part of the moon kind of looks smaller than the brighter part?
Slightly seems like.
Yeah,
It doesn't look spherical.
be like
It's not round. Yeah, it doesn't look round.
It looks like it's like it had the bottom part of the moon looks
Narrower,
kind of
it's slightly
like
narrower.
exercise.
It's not round.
Yeah, so
It
it's
doesn't
not
look round.
exactly circle. You can see
It
the
is
bottom
they
is
have to do like that, I think, because they want to match up the equator. That's why.
actually the crater is very hard to measure up because the full moon, every time the full moon, actually the moon facing Earth is a little bit different due to this liberation effect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's why they need to
and
take
also
the
the
moon.
perigee and apogee positions, right?
Yes.
correct.
Yes, so they need to be in consideration.
Yeah.
But I think
CFR,
people who make this kind of
slight difference in
they never consider they never consider the perfection, how to make this artwork to become perfect. Yeah. But it is nice, I believe. If the person who do this
so but are we
you say
so are we gonna accept this as astrophotography or is it art then?
Art.
this definitely is an art.
Art.
This definitely is an art.
Label it as art. I would say it's art, not astrophotography.
You're gonna put some words on there.
I vote art.
Yeah.
Yeah, art. Definitely art.
It doesn't reflect reality, right? Yeah, it's art.
I have tried, to do a certain kind of project, like taking a 1 day old moon, 3 day old moon, 4 day old moon. Then you start to process, so that all the creators are there on the moon. But then it will look very artificial unless you really know how to blend it. You see. So
the moon map is created by this way, right? So you just
sorry.
All the moon map that we have,
Yeah, but the moon map, I'm sure they have already calculated the distortion. I don't know now. These are built with the cartography kind of thing, so they already put it nicely. But for us, is that we are just trying to take every day. Then we just try to slowly put it. I think it's not easy to do it now. It will look very unnatural. So. Due to all those liberation, all these things, shadow, don't know. But that one is, if the data is accurate, then I think it's still okay.
Yeah, it's gonna have some ways to be
Do art.
better. Yeah.
Still art.
Still art. Yes, still art.
Astrophotography.
Yes.
Okay.
It's still art.
Okay.
It's just
Interesting.
to show people that
Yeah.
the features on the moon in general.
Yeah.
Because you want to show 29 images of the moon and show the features of the moon, people might get confused after maybe 5 images you show them. So that's why people make all the 29 moon phase together as a full moon. Then you can show it better. Yeah. You actually have a science in it. It's not totally enough. Yeah. Okay. So maybe the next will be the nebula. Just now we talk a lot of it, but I never show the image now. Now maybe I share screen to show that image that what we are talking about just now.
Which trigger our ad hoc session today.
Yeah. The nebula. Oh, okay. Come.
This is why we are online now.
Oh.
Yeah, this is it. Yes.
The thing that I do not understand, the thing that I do not understand in this photo is that he actually took a lot of time and effort to take this photo, right? Take a lot of time to do. I'm sure he did like many hours and do a 4-frame thing like that. But I do not understand why after doing so much, then you create an art out of it.
No, the person who do this saying that this is for social media convenient. He say you can show it better on social media.
But I know that's the problem. But I mean, you can do it like that. But actually, I do not blame this guy lah. Actually, people are free to do whatever they like, so that they can get people to like their photo, to get more viewer, to get more, I don't know, subscriber, whatever. But then for me, that I'm actually more
I think
disappointed with the admin. Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. I think we have someone join us.
Yeah, Lokman.
Dark Sky
I think
Malaysia,
it's-
welcome.
It's either Lokman
Yes,
or
yes.
And I
Hello,
think-
Dark Sky.
I think just now also.
Hi.
Emma, yeah, guilty. Emma found guilty of the moon.
Yeah, hi. Welcome to our.
Who is that?
No,
This is
it's actually Lukman. He wants to join. He saw your comment.
Malat,
He said
selamat apa?
to
Selamat
join the
petang.
Google Meet. To Google Meet.
Selamat
So
malam.
I put up for him. Selamat malam. Now he ran away. Datang lah.
Cepat lah, cepat.
Say hi, hey. Why
Okay,
run
sorry,
away?
I saw.
Eh,
Sorry. Just I just saw your the advertisement. Then I saw the part where you put up the composite image of the moon. I said, hey, I did that before.
Well, that is okay.
So now we have
Jangan marah ha, sifu CK ah.
No,
Hey,
actually it's good. It's good to have you here. So now we have a candidate to interview. So when you do this, do you regard it as a science or art?
It's for the art.
Yeah.
Because in the science
Additional
perception,
people
right,
to discuss,
perspective,
yeah,
right,
and
it's
some input. But
it's
I think we
really-
were listening to CK before that. Oh.
Yeah, Derek,
like
you can.
like you said, right? The to merge the creators, right, and all the parts of the. I did include like 3 images of the moon, the stars, the background, different focal length, different camera, the surface of the bright moon, it was like more than 60% of the moon, I think. And then the dark side of the moon, I think I was using full moon for the dark side. So I composite 3 images from the 3 different camera sensor, 3 different focal length. I think yeah. The moon same focal length and same sensor, TCD. No. One camera, one one CCD. So see different frames, right? And different three different images can I composite it to make like realistic lah. For us lah. I was just trying Photoshop, how to blend in, masking, trying out.
William,
how
can you
to
show
blend.
back the moon photos? Yeah.
Okay, go on. Yeah, keep talking. Bye.
Yeah, keep talking
Share.
again. Yeah. So the photos that because is one inspiration. I saw this guy. He put up a photo of the moon composite, but he said it's not composite. It's like it's HDR. So he took photos of like I think was it 50%? So almost 50%. It's like half. So I was like, can you seriously take the background when it's half full? Yeah, for me it's ridiculous. I did try to overexpose of the moon to get the background, and all I got is white. Overexposed. So I think because I think the moon is overexposed, so you can see like a vignette of dark, at the side, but the moon's overexposed and I can't get the background like this. It's ridiculous. So I did a composite with other image from other camera. But not that night. The best thing is not that night. All are different night. 3 different night.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you show me the photo?
Your photo? Do you have the photo?
Oh
with
my
you?
god, let me with the photo with me.
If you can, but
it's in my FB.
okay.
Can someone
Never
stop
mind.
me for-
If you can show, that'll be good. But do you have any like problem blending the image during the processing? What are the
Challenges, the difficult
problem?
part.
Yeah, the challenges of you doing like for me, I tried to do it before. Like you said, we do 2 different night. One full moon, then one half moon, different telescope, whatever. Then we try to merge it. But after I merge it a few times, then I see that I cannot get a perfect photo, not to what I like, because all the photos seems very fake. All the photos they are fake because the craters are not properly aligned. The moon size is not properly. The liberation, the moon is sangat here, sangat there. So at the end, I didn't. I throw away the whole project because I feel that it's not that accurate. But actually,
I think
yeah.
you are too perfectionist lah, CK.
No lah, I try to do it but cannot. You see, I try to fake the photo but I cannot fake it, so I fail to produce such photos. So I throw the whole thing away. But actually, I found that a lot of photos that on the internet actually they do it very well. I don't know whether they got do some hanky panky at the back or what, but actually they did it very well. They blend very nicely. But since we're on this topic, they always try to label it as HDR. To me, it's actually not HDR. It's not HDR at all. Because we actually see the full moon. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Exactly, like HDR. You say HDR is like you take the same photo but different exposure, but at the same time.
Yes, correct.
It's quite hard. It's very hard lah for me lah. For me it's hard, but that's why I take different time to get the photo. I don't know how they do it. Okay, I got the photo. How do I share my screen? Okay.
I think
William's
William's already sharing it.
Is this the one?
Yes, that's the one. Where? Yep.
Maybe you share yours very high res a little bit.
Tak cantik pun. So you see, right? What I did there is the bright one is taken by CCD. I think part by part. So I jahit semua, and then I have a higher resolution lah. And then the one on the left, the dark side one, you can see it's quite bad lah. What I did was it's a full moon, and I make it blur. I make it like a bit dark, as if it's not lit up lah. It's not like the HDR you saw, the first image that you put up. So you can see it's not lit up. So it's quite dark. So what I did is I put down the exposure, and then I did a masking, gradient one.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see at the some part is quite bad lah, but I did. See, I put a composite. No lah, it's quite bad lah. But I just for fun only. This is just for fun. I put that composite. I might, we have to put out that it's not real.
Not the HDR, not the 3D HDR.
Yeah, you cannot say it's HDR. It's not, because it's not. This one is not totally.
Artwork.
Yeah, artwork. So this is art. Yeah, you can say it's art lah. For me, tak cantik pun this art. Tapi for fun. This is like for fun only. Like you see the one that won the Astrophotography.
That actually
image.
is an interesting image.
This is what they like to do with the image of this deep sky imaging. What they do they like to do now is like they make it like axial tilt gradient out of focus.
Oh, you mean the
Trend
camera
one.
shift? It's a camera shift. I don't know what they call.
Yeah.
You mean the center sharp, but at the edge all blur out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that
like-
one won the astrophotography.
Yeah, one of the competition. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. The image is I think
Oh.
Andromeda.
Andromeda, Rob Teasley.
Andromeda, I
So-
think.
Yeah.
So
That's a
you know
good
the
one to
trend
bring
here.
up.
Yes.
Yeah. That is like
That's a good point. Yes. So and agree is what do you all think? Is it astrophotography? Is it art? But it won. You see, it won the.
Yes,
He
first
won the
prize.
first place.
I know. Yeah. It's like, but don't know.
You can check the category. Maybe you can check the category of the competition. Maybe
No, he won the whole thing.
I think M32 and M110 is blurred out.
Wasn't it? Wasn't
Is it blur out?
Andromeda?
Andromeda,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember it's an Andromeda.
Yeah.
Yeah, blur out the middle
Yes.
part. Sharp, like Shiki said, and you can see it's fading out of focus. So he did take the Andromeda picture, but he put it in his phone, like you
Yeah,
said,
it's
like
a-
in the snap seat.
Funny photo. It's a funny photo.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you can try. Yeah. You see what we are. You see the quality of our deep sky imaging, right? From the past, you see the photos taken,
all this one.
the value of the photos taken, and the value of photos taken right now. They want to make it more artistic, so people can. I don't know what's the value of making picture. Oh yeah. Is if you have the that's the one. Yep.
10,000 euro.
10,000 euros. So he won the overall winner. Okay, he's the overall winner.
I mean, it's a winner of the winners.
Yeah. So what you guys think? Would you guys do that?
So you actually want to present something like a 3D view of this Andromeda.
I mean, for
But then,
This is the most mind-blowing photo I've ever seen.
I mean, basically, we don't really have to
Mind-blowingly
tilt the
ridiculous
sensor,
photo.
right? We can just actually do this effect in Photoshop also.
You,
Just
you
mirror
notice
part of
the
it.
M32 down below, right? It's blurred out, but according to this guy, it's a yeah.
I forgot they actually
So, what were you
has
saying, Michael?
a picture of this photograph, but it's not here. But this person actually make a very good solar eclipse photos, just like the one that the one you know, the guys who call the Slav, the one that the Republic of Czech, the person. He also make a very good HDR image of the total solar eclipse, the corona. So this is one of the people. This is the another guy that make the theory become a processing tool to process the corona image. So he got a lot of good image processing skill for these people.
No wonder. He's very creative lah.
Yeah.
You can say maybe out of the box. So make his picture is different than the others. I'm not sure.
Actually, now you all can see what screen I share.
The Andromeda
Still-
Galaxy.
Still the Andromeda Galaxy. Yeah. Okay.
But you want to show
browsing
something?
that.
You want to show something not nice?
No.
Jangan silap share Dia silap share tab lain pula. Emma
This
tutup
person
mata.
actually
Emma
has
tutup mata.
Have a special.
Dah ke?
Okay, safe.
Sudah. Okay, sudah proses, sudah tutup. Ini sudah masuk ya.
So one
So
more
you
thing,
all
right?
can look at it. Huh?
One more thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, actually-
The trend that I
William,
saw
are you
is
sharing something? No, right?
If am I sharing something?
No.
no.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it, and you can guess. I think Maiden, can you help me to like find it? I think you know. This kind of thing, right? That the trend that you saw just now, the HDR, and then this thing of like photoshopping the final image. Another one is like wider field of this kind of object with some other object like earth object, like bangunan ke landscape, like so somewhere in the city side, then you got the Orion Nebula, and then some that sort of thing, you know. So that's the like. So the trend is like having this deep sky object and something else.
So what do you guys think? It's good.
So no more using only the this kind of object like California Nebula only ke, no. So you have the earth, other earthly object.
Because people love to look at this kind of landscape astrophoto.
But just now,
And then
I just came across one photos where people they put the Andromeda behind a foreground, big Andromeda. He said that composition is a way of express your imagination instead of just a boring shot that everybody take the same.
Wow.
So everybody take the Andromeda the same way. So he put it in a relative. Of course, the size might be a relative correct size lah. But with the farmhouse in front with the hill, he said that doing composite is a way of express your imagination.
Yeah, imagination and science are not exactly 100%. Like they don't commute. The dot product is not one. Okay, sorry, in layman terms, they are not like running in parallel perfectly. A little bit. You need imagination to push boundaries of science and understanding, right? But the known science is known science. And I think that such a statement is clearly an artistic statement and belongs to an art group. You know, there's nothing wrong with saying that, but it's relegated to art. It's art.
I think I can understand what Derek's trying to say. Like there's an imagination on science and imagination on fantasy, where you can fantasize what you want to see, and that is beautiful. Of course, it's beautiful. The space art is beautiful, but they wanted to add up the touch of the earth, the touch of the human touch. So it's different than the, you know, the science, like
Yes,
you're trying to
yes.
say. I kind of understand that. That's what we are trying to. I understand that most of the astrophotographers out there that, you know, purely want to do this kind of imaging, without, like, you know, getting array than the photography line. Because most of the astrophotographers are amateur astronomers, but when the photographer itself, without the basic of astronomy, they want to, you know, try to be in the astrophotography field, and they put in their own kind of creativity, but they say that is then they say that it's science imagination. So it's quite hard for the amateur astronomer to, you know, to, it's quite hard lah. It's for me lah. For me, for amateur astronomer like you guys, right? And astrophotographers, photographers and amateur astronomers to, how to say, to, you need to communicate together. I think because most of them that they only know how to photograph, and they know that that's the object and how to take it, but they want to make it more creative. That's their point of view. They say it's art. From our point of view, it's kind of like this is it's kind of like it's off.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that there's nothing wrong with doing that, right? As long as they know that it's art, it's not astrophotography. They don't label it astrophotography. I think the key problem here is people labeling what's actually art as astrophotography, right? And then they come in and say that, oh, how dare you tell me that I'm not an astrophotographer? But um, this is where I think we have to draw the line, right? Otherwise, there's no boundary between reality and imagination anymore. And when it comes in, it causes a lot of misinformation. I mean, just now when you were joining, Emma, CK was explaining something about this image that we found on the internet where this guy had the horse head and he moved the Orion Nebula,
William,
crazy.
show it,
He
William.
moved right next to the Horsehead Nebula, and then he says that this is astrophotography, and then he posted on this. What site was it? Yeah, there it is. I really couldn't stand it. I had to go in and
Proceed with the
kinda
Orion
say
Nebula
something.
close together.
Oh
this-
no!
This
He
nebula
not,
should not be.
he did not mention that it's in
He
He
did
like
mention.
composite.
He did mention.
He did mention, but he insists that this is astrophotography. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's I think that's kind of where he crossed the line. It is art. It is actually a very well captured data. Okay, and he did all the star reduction and everything. You don't see any stars, but you see a lot of detail in the nebulosity, which is actually fantastic. But presenting it this way, people are gonna look at it and say, "Oh, okay, the horsehead is just right next to the Orion Nebula. I can find the horsehead. I can see it." And guess what will happen next, right? It's like, tak ada. Sudah
Oh.
cari berapa lama ni?
Wah, bahasa Malaysia dah masuk bagus
Oh well,
Actually,
anyway, okay, yes,
certain
but-
perspective, in certain
Yeah.
perspective, the horsehead is actually near to the Orion Nebula, but it's just
Not
not
so near.
as near as this one. Yeah,
yeah,
they are labeled actually.
yeah. Well, I mean, just not this near, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need the standard how to define the astrophotographer and photographer, how to make the like Derek said, don't cross the boundary. Don't simply label it as don't simply label it as this is the artistic of astrophotography, because people will misjudge, and
I think they'll be confused. I mean,
Ah.
they'll be like, from people's side that don't know about the sky, they'll believe in this. Yeah, they will believe they can see that there's no stars, or be like this Orion Nebula is very near to the horsehead, and for this can be misleading people, like you said, and also this kind of photography, right, and this astrophotography is quite disappointing, very disappointing, because I see a lot of people that making composite images and saying that without labeling as composite or saying that it's artwork, they say that that's the image you can see. That's very misleading, especially in Malaysia, because Malaysia they love to viral it, they love to spread it out very fast, and it's quite disappointing if someone that love to do this kind of artwork, but they say it's a true image. That's the image that can be taken. So there's not only this image. There's a lot of images that I can see that they say is, you can see like the moon just now, the moon HDR moon. Yeah, it's very misleading, and like Starfinder ASP, you guys have to write out the article saying that no, that's not a true image, like pink moon, whatever moon. So it's very misleading, very.
Okay.
Just one question, hey. Is that the Running Man Nebula right next to?
This is Running Man.
Yeah, that thing. That's Running Man.
This is Running Man.
that's
Okay,
Yeah.
so he had a like very
This
very
Running
good,
Man is actually
Very
in H alpha.
oh,
H alpha is
Running Man.
yeah.
Okay. I haven't really seen many pictures of the Running Man in H alpha.
Yeah, H alpha is like that. Yeah. Oh, this is H alpha emission.
So, but of course, somewhere along the way here, I think that he created some artificial nebulas, right? Especially at the boundary where the Horsehead and the Orion Nebula is.
When I think when these guys
Yeah.
blend these two together, you can see this is a
Yeah.
boundary. You can only see here is a boundary.
Right.
I think it's quite obvious.
Yeah.
And then I got this kind of artificial things.
Yeah, it's
You
it's
know,
an artwork. It's not astrophotography. I think that's the
yeah.
conclusion.
An artwork that can be used as a phone wallpaper.
Yeah.
Okay, I got another interesting image show here. See this one. So what do you got? What do you all think? This one, the person who shared this image saying that they want to look at this Pinnacle National Park. So I think only Australia has this kind of Pinnacle National Park. Right? Elsewhere in the world has a Pinnacle National Park.
Oh, actually, I think there's one in the U.S. too. It's California, right? I just found it right away. Pinnacles National Park.
So I'm not so sure is this a US one or the Australian one.
Yeah, it's probably the U.S. one because I think the Pinnacles in Australia is pretty distinct. Right? Has the kind of was it the? I've never been there, but I thought that it's kind of some kind of.
But if this is from US, then the image probably is a true angle one. It's a true angle.
Yeah, it's the U.S. one. Okay, I just realized it's the U.S. one because
But yeah,
I found
but I think this one, I think the image of the Seagull Nebula is actually upsized quite a lot. This is a Seagull Nebula, right?
yes.
I think Seagull is actually not that big.
Well, the photographer can use a telephoto lens and find a landscape that can match with the telephoto lens.
I don't think so. I look like a wide angle for the foreground to me. I don't think
The lens, actually, you can see kind of telephotos, maybe not telephotos, I don't know. Because I'm not a
can you zoom in and see? Zoom in a little.
Huh? Cannot zoom in already. This is
yeah,
original file.
I mean, see because this one look quite small in the screen.
Zoom in, yeah, zoom in.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. I don't think even you use a telephoto, you'll get this kind of thing. I think the one that look like this is like quite fake lah.
How big is the nebula?
The
How
FOV.
many?
Sorry?
The nebula.
The FOV of
It's
the
actually
nebula.
What's the FOV of the
This-
the?
like this.
120 times
You can-
40 arc minute.
You can see this is a Canis Major. Sirius is over here. And then this is the size.
So you think can do that?
2 degrees maybe.
Cannot be.
Yeah,
Cannot be.
2 degree.
Telephoto cannot be lah.
This one,
Cannot be lah telephoto.
this is like 2 degrees.
I-
I think
How-
it's 2 degrees.
How far is the guy from the?
I don't think you can do it the telephoto with the 500 mm lens, so you can get that nice image. And the foreground also is a focus.
And the
No, actually, this
illuminated.
like this. Before the object rise from this landscape, the person we can just focus on the landscape and take many landscape images.
Okay.
When this object rise to the right position that the photographer wants, and then they just on the tracker to track the nebula to just get the star field and the nebula, and then the landscape will be. But then there are two batch of images. One is the sky and one is the landscape. And then they just match together and hide the path that by the left. So then it can become like this. Yeah, this is how this produced.
What is the national park again?
Pinnacles.
Yeah.
California.
Pinnacle National Park.
Yeah, California.
Let me check the one. Because
Okay. If you look at the image on the right side, that is actually the north is on the left. North is on the left, south is on the right. Okay, up is west and down is east. So then if you tilt to the California latitude, then the orientation will match with this photograph. What is the latitude of California?
About 35.
30 something, yeah, 35. Yeah.
35, right? Yeah, if you rotate this photograph of the right to 35 degrees, then you will see the orientation is actually matching. Yeah. So this photograph probably is a true photograph. It's just to separate the star and then the landscape and then combine it together back to the moment when the object lies behind this landscape. Yeah. This is how this photograph will represent.
Where was it taken again?
Pinnacle National Park,
Or where is that?
California.
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 Pay attention, Michael.
No, because I'm trying to look for the orientation.
He said his
Said the picture
picture taken with 300
300
mm.
mm lens.
Yes,
That makes sense.
yeah, 300 I think makes sense because I just shared the photo to our chat group. 500 mm just fit the whole nebula.
Oh,
Yeah.
So this 300
So
is
this-
300
Yeah.
mm dengan
Exposure.
You know why I say these photographs are probably it's just to trace back the nebula to the angle that when it lies behind the landscape. I did this before in Hawaii with background star field and then an observatory in front.
Betul.
Oh,
guys. He said
Wow.
he took his like I don't know he took from his camera. This is from his camera.
Yeah, this is a view, right? This is a camera view.
He said this is my camera. So I got this image, the image that you see in the screen. Alamak, pula.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this kind of image, if we want to know if the photographer really take at the same angle or not, but the only thing that we need to of the praise, and then we try to match with the sky orientation. Then we know. As the case previously, we're talking about the Orion with the what you call it, the Condor buildings, right? That one, why we know that is a big because in the photograph it mentioned there's the KL. That's taken in KL. So with that orientation of the nebula, that latitude are supposed to be KL or something like this. Yeah. If the photographer said that photograph taken in Hong Kong, then I can believe that is the true one. Yeah. So that's why that is how we know the photograph like this is a fake or not is by the latitude of the place to take this photograph. Yeah.
So conclusion: astrophotography or art?
This is astrophotography.
Yes, agree.
Yes, it reflects the reality.
Yes,
Yeah.
this
The photographer went through the homework, everything, all the nuances, alignment, positioning, and timing. And this is why I think real astrophotography is hard to do, right? And I think that's why it's much more appreciated than just all this artwork that comes out.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
the true combination of art and science.
Okay. Respect for this gentleman. I think his
Yep.
name is Deepak or something, right? What was it? I cannot remember the name.
Here have a signature of the photographer.
Dira.
Nama dia?
Oh, name start with
Dira.
D.
Dira.
Dheera.
Yes, his name start with D too. Right? Just like me.
Cik.
Hey.
All right, jokes aside.
Pseudoscience
very nice.
pseudoscience
Kudos.
cannot. That's
Good
pseudoscience.
image. Dira
Dira
Venkatraman. Yeah, Dira Net. Oh, yeah. He has an Instagram page, right?
Dira Venkatraman.
Okay. Yeah. This. Yeah. Okay.
Rising Seagull.
Nice.
Amazing. Very good.
So that's the wish list.
So if this kind of photography can enter for this year ASP photography contest.
Hey, we
the
do
right-
have. I think we do have California Nebula Rising.
Last year we cannot, right? Can we do that?
Cannot lah. Can.
Can right?
Can ah?
You mean ASP contest ah?
I thought last year we can do a composite, right, or something like that.
Can do
But this one a composite.
Composite ma, foreground with different, background with different ma.
Oh, okay. Can I share something?
Okay.
How to share?
Please present now. There's a present now. Now button.
Yeah, tak focus. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Can.
Yes.
Yeah. So this one taken from somewhere near to Kundasang.
No, cannot see.
Yeah.
Cannot see yet.
Now cannot see. Just now
Oh.
can see. Now cannot see.
Oh, I see. Oh, we have to stop share. Why they're out?
You're gonna share the screen. Share the whole screen. Share your entire screen. That option is better.
Oh, cannot because I'm using iPad, so it cannot share screen from other than this.
You should be able
I
to
don't mind
share
that.
the screen, right?
Okay, let me try again. At that 3. How to put up? Can see now?
Can.
Okay.
Can see.
Oh, nice.
So this is like part of I was taking time lapse. The rising of ladies from the Kinabalu, peak of Kinabalu. So this one can take care. This one without the background for the foreground lah. So can right?
No, actually, like I think Emma, because you missed the earlier part of the session, we are not against composite at all, because there are different types of composite, but to what extent that you can accept. Yeah.
Understand.
It's not a offense to make composite, but to what extent? It must be like, for example, this one, if the foreground and the background is at the same moment but two different, that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
So
unless,
the picture
unless
just
for example, if the island, the bottom is the island, right? Is it a hill or island? The dark part.
That's a mountain. That's
Okay.
a
Mountain Kinabalu.
So imagine when
Okay.
you take this shot, the mountain is on the back side of you. Then you put the mountain in front of here.
Oh.
That is a different
I
story.
So the picture that if I say the foreground, the mountain, I take different exposure and I put it up
Yes.
and I compose
But
it. So
if the
does that
angle is
count?
correct, and the lighting of the mountain is not so what you call that, so unmatched with the whole scene, then that may be too much up on that side. Yeah. If you have a moonlit, a little bit of moon illuminate on the mountain, that can be accepted. Yeah.
Or for example, if you put Mount Kinabalu in front here, then okay, cannot lah.
Well, at least the camera place was in the same place, and the pointing at the same angle.
Actually, it would
okay.
be very nice. It would be very nice if there's a recognizable landmark or something in the background. Like one look, you know, it is something, and then with the stars at the back, that is like accurately depicted. But unfortunately, usually the recognizable places are always taken over by lights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's why we're
I
trying
think
hard over here.
that's why we have Dark Sky Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
Support
mission. The mission of Sky
mission, yes,
Malaysia.
full support.
Yeah.
We need you guys. We need your support. Okay,
Yes,
we need all the Malaysian. We need the hand in hand to fight the light pollution.
Yeah. Okay, maybe one last image to let you all justify.
Okay.
I'm bored.
This one unexpected. Okay. What do you think about this?
Composite.
Delete.
Too handsome.
Teruk.
Cannot.
Ni teruk.
This one not too fake, but too handsome. Cannot.
Cannot see the face of it, you can feel it is a handsome guy.
I don't believe the person is that handsome and good.
Too
No,
thin.
this-
Too thin.
Photoshopped.
This photo is it is like how to say you're looking at the foreground, you know, but you're looking at the background, you know. Looking at the background. The foreground is the background, you know. Foreground is the background. The foreground is the background. Walao. Apart from the landscape, what do you think about this composite of the night phenomena of an astronomical phenomena? Yeah,
I think
just take away the landscape.
This one to me is considered a multiple exposure from different day.
Yeah, this is kind of multiple exposure, but
Yeah.
in digital world, we got no choice that we only can do composite with inside with the software. I can do the composition.
Unless you don't bring in the camera, right? You just close it. Then tomorrow you open again. Tomorrow then you open again.
That's the same thing like you're doing in Lima
Yes.
or with the moon. So
Yes.
you're taking different time, but at the same place and same
Yeah.
angle. So I think it's a good data. It's very
So
good
how
data.
many
Yes, agree.
how many percent up and how many percent size?
This one,
The-
50-50.
Not counting the
The
person is 100%. Count the person is like 0.1. Sorry.
Okay.
If it's an M, then it's 100% size.
Then I will take the man.
the foreground,
Yeah, you just
This-
Photoshop MR inside, then it become 100% size.
Oh yeah. No, you please take one of your back. What you call that? One photo like this one. Then I blend it into my image.
Yeah, you put video outside.
Front
you
facing
put
lah.
in me.
If the back then cannot see MR face ma, face in front ma. Then can see Amoy cantik ma. I would say people's wife in front of the husband. Che. Sorry boss, sorry.
I will PM you. I will PM.
Yeah. Now you see another image, right? This image. I just think about it when we talk about what most of the landmark that significant place that we been to. Actually, most of that is light polluted. So the only thing we can do is a star trail. So usually I record this kind of famous landmark with a star trail because the spotlight is really bright over there. Yeah, no way we can see many stars with this as a foreground.
This Malacca, right?
Malacca and Formosa, yeah.
Formosa, yeah.
It's a
Good.
very famous place. Yeah.
Belum
If-
gagal sejarah.
If you go to Malacca, you didn't go to this place, and then you never go to this place at night, that means you are not an amateur astronomer.
Oh, I never go at night. I only go in the daytime. So I'm a
Sorry,
tourist.
I make the definition too high.
Probably. I've never been there at night too. Now I have to go and
This is it's my first time when I take this image. Yeah, when I take this image, my first time visit this place, and the spotlight is on almost, I think, the whole night.
The pole light is on this right direction to the fog here. Yeah.
But when you
But I
take
think-
the image, one image, the foreground doesn't blow up.
No.
No,
I just make the things just right at the exposure because the sky already like wash out. So you only can see this star trail when it becomes a star trail. In a single photograph, you cannot see the stars. Only when you make it as a star trail, then you can see. Actually, there is a lot of stars appearing in the photograph. Yeah, but you just cannot see it. Yeah. It's a sad thing. Usually, I will tell people that if a place that you've been, you only can take the star trail of that night sky, that means that place is already when you like that. So very sad, you cannot take the Milky Way with this famous place here. Yeah.
Emma,
apa lagi?
Fine. fine.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have
we support you.
we have to be together.
Yeah.
We have to be together.
Yeah, make Sabah the first.
You lead the charge. You lead
One
the
day
charge.
lah,
Well,
one
actually,
day, all-
we can help, but I think that may be a next topic that we can talk about. That's interesting. Light pollution in Malaysia. Yeah. But,
Yeah, imagine
it's-
all the landscape in Malaysia, like you said, the landmarks. Like in Penang, you have the bridge, Melaka and Formosa, and Langkawi, the eagle. I think the eagle, I think some of them took the photo of Milky Way and with the eagle. Then Sarawak with the kucing. Of course, Sabah got a lot lah, Kinabalu, but it's getting diminishing lah some places. So if you have all these, like, if KCC with Milky Way, itu memang terbaik lah. But very hard. Yeah. So if we can hand in hand, the photography is very good medium to show to people. Not only photography of dark skies, but also photography of at these hard places, like polluted places, like Melaka is very good example. I did take some photos in KL. If you can get this out, documented it. So I think you can go to not only to the people but also to the authority. So for now, people don't know that the existence of light pollution. So not only we're going to say that we have dark sky, we also have like polluted sky. So image of like Wayland's image in Formosa is very good lah. But we also must show that Malaysia has a good sky lah.
Yes. So I think that with that remark, I think that it's a good sort of stopping point for our talking today, discussions today. I think thank you everyone for contributing, and it leaves now that we are kind of concluding pretty much what astrophotography is and how we should handle it, deal with it, and how we should encourage photographers to actually, instead of label their work as real astrophotography, label it more as art, which is still appreciated. It doesn't devalue it. Okay, it's still artwork. It's still beautiful. It's still appreciated. Just that it's not scientific. So I think that line we are, it's our conclusion today that we need to draw that, and then I think in the future discussion, I think we have some direction we can move in to talk about, especially all these astrophotography around Malaysia. So I think is there anyone wanting to have any last thoughts or share any last final ideas and thinking at all? Okay. Yeah, no one? William? DK?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Mr. Sunspot?
No.
Emma and husband.
Couple
This
astro-
Michael has been a sunspot the whole session. I cannot stand it.
Poison.
Show off.
Bang, bang.
Show off.
Someone is cutting the
Ay.
poison.
Okay, thank you again. Then I think that we had a very, very interesting discussion today, and we'll follow up another time. Thank you, everyone. I think have a good evening, and I will see you all again.
Okay, good night. Thank
Okay.
you for joining us.
Good night.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.